Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Let me try this again. Now, the question I have, when I'm trying to post this thing, right? Who has a better chance against, Who has a better chance against Canelo? Edgar, Berlanga, or Terence Crawford? Now, I wanna mention something, right? It looks like Edgar Berlanga is gonna get the shot. There were all kind of names being thrown out there. Looks like Eubank Jr. They were considering him, but I just have a feeling Eddie Hearn, because he's in the mix here with making this fight, right? Once Eubank Jr. started talking about whether the fight's going to be held in the UK, in the States, starts talking about the numbers and fight purse and whether he'll get robbed. You know, Eddie Hearn don't have time for that shit. In my opinion, right? If you're a fighter and you got an opportunity to fight Canelo, whatever they offer you, you take it. Especially if you're Eubank Jr., you take it. There's no negotiating here, okay? You take the opportunity. So now the ship has sailed. And I blame no one but Chris Eubank Jr. At least from what I've read on the internet, right? I read multiple articles, pulled out the consistencies. Seemed like he was out here worrying about getting robbed, the money. My man, you missed an opportunity. The 4-for-1 deal, 4 belts, 1 fight. Anyway, if what they're saying is true, shame on you, Eubank Jr. But then you come now and see you got Edgar Berlanga. Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I like Edgar Berlanga. I do. I said in another video, the only thing about him is like, you know, when these people start getting money, man, they start saying shit that they wouldn't normally say. It doesn't matter how much money that these fighters are making, or anyone's making, no matter what your occupation is or what you're doing. You're investing in real estate, whatever you're doing, right? Don't come out here, man, talking about what you have. Just know what you have. And don't look down on the next man talking about you a bum, you broke. That shit is corny, man. Corny. Now, for anyone out there saying, oh, it's because you broke, man, trust me, my man. Hood Champion's all right, but you will never hear me talk about that shit. That shit is corny. So, but outside of that, I have nothing but good things to say about Edgar Berlanga. That's the only thing. But as far as him fighting Canelo, I just don't think he stands a chance. Now, him and Terence Crawford, I'm going to be honest with you. When you look at the size of Berlanga, 6'1", maybe close to 6'2", big, strong, 168-pounder. You know he's killing himself to make 168. But the bottom line is he makes the weight, okay? When you just look at him as far as his size, he has a chance. Big guy, strong guy. Terence Crawford in his frame, he's not as big as Berlanga. So as far as the size-wise, you got to give the advantage to Berlanga. But when you start talking about speed and accuracy, you got to give that to Crawford. Now, I'm not saying Berlanga's slow, but he ain't fast like Crawford. He doesn't have the accuracy of Crawford, okay? So you got to give the edge to Crawford. I say Crawford stands a better chance, although he doesn't have the size, with his speed and accuracy. Now, this is the other thing. Being able to break down a fighter's defense. Let me tell you something. All that bang, bang, boogie that Edgar Berlanga has in that left and right hand of his, it doesn't matter if he can't break down a fighter's defense. Now, when you take a look at him and you look at Crawford, who has proven time and time again that they can systematically break down a fighter's defense and start to land their shots. Even if the first round's a little quirky, the second round's a little quirky, they start to figure things out, and then they start to have their way with the fighters and go on to get the victory, if not a knockout. Terence Crawford has proven that over and over. Now, when you're talking about Canelo Alvarez, that high guard, walk you down. Looking to land the beans on you. You know, Canelo has evolved his style. Canelo's not out there throwing a bunch of combinations, them crazy-ass combinations he used to throw like when he fought James Kirkland. He doesn't do that anymore. He's not the same guy combination punching like he did against the great Miguel Cotto. He was bing-binging Shane Mosley. And Gulo, he's not that guy. It's over. But he's evolved his style until it's become extremely effective. High guard, walk you down, and counterpunch you. And when he lets his shot go, he knows just what shots to throw. It's like I've said in multiple videos, Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant wasn't able to shoot from all over the floor. He had spots. And he knew if he got to a spot, he was going to put that shit down. Right? It's like Canelo. He knows what shots to throw. I'm not throwing a bunch of punches, just like Kobe wasn't shooting from all over the goddamn floor. He knows what punches do the most damage and the ones he knows he can get off on an opponent. And that's what Canelo's done. You see that jab, He's either throwing that right hand straight, or he's looping that right hand, or he's coming down over the top, or he's shooting that uppercut. Okay, and that head movement, you already know he's slipping punches and all that and countering you with the uppercut. But Canelo, I think it's tough for even Crawford to get through that defense. You know what I'm saying? But if I got to sit there and talk about who has a better chance based on being able to systematically break down the fighter's defense, it's Terence Crawford. Okay? Now you talk about experience. Hey, you hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid. There's no discussion here, man. How dare you cross-examine Hood Champion? Well, Edgar Berlanga, man, what? As an amateur, he was outstanding. Yeah, no doubt. I give you that. But yo, don't you dare come out here talking about Edgar Berlanga's got the experience. He'll know what to do if things get just difficult in the ring. No, he doesn't. You know who does? Crawford. What has Berlanga done? When shit gets tough for Berlanga, what does he do? He turns to a young Zab Judah. Become a hothead. Stop wanting to fight. Stop wanting to headbutt, bite you, kick you, make it rough, elbow you, do dirty shit, headbutt you. That ain't boxing. That's immaturity, inexperience, and the wah, I'm not getting my way, I'm a spoiled brat type behavior. All that talent, and he can't control his temperament. You can't do that shit with Canelo, because I'm telling you right now, that's what's going to happen in there. He ain't going to be able to have his way, and he's going to lose his cool. And Canelo's a goddamn hothead too. You know, he already got red hair, so you know that means a hothead. Canelo ain't playing around with that shit. Old cheese hair, he ain't gonna play around. You come in there fucking around trying to bully Canelo and get ignorant with Canelo, he gonna put it back on you. Now with Crawford ain't a dirty fighter. All fighters do little slick shit, but Crawford ain't trying to bite you, elbow you. He'll use that forearm, he'll use his shoulder. Crawford grab you, turn you. Crawford ain't a filthy fighter. But he knows what it takes to win. But when you talk about, guys having the IQ and experience to deal with adversity in the ring, Crawford knows what to do. And when you look at Crawford and Canelo, that's another thing where I say, you know what? Crawford, Berlanga, who has a better chance based on experience, it goes to Crawford, man. Now when you're just talking about patience, it's Crawford. Berlanga has shown some patience, but you know what? You come in there showing a whole lot of patience with Canelo. Canelo will just start to walk you down and bing you. You're going to have to let your hands go. Now you say, okay, well, Hood Champion, what do you mean by let your hands go? I'm going to tell you right now, this is what you got to do to beat a guy like Canelo, right? You got to do this shit right here. Now, what we're looking at is Canelo versus Bivol, the CompuBox punch stats. Now, if this right here, the Alvarez Bivol, right? The total punches landed and thrown, okay? In the first round, you can see Alvarez landed 5 of 38 thrown. Bivol landed 14 of 53. Now let's just look across at Bivol's row. First round, he landed 14 of 53, 12 of 50, 10 of 60, 10 of 51, 12 of 51, 13 of 51, 14 of 71, 13 of 58, 12 of 72, 6 of 48, 18 of 75, 18 of 70. Now look, in every single round, Bivol outthrew Canelo. He outthrew him and he outlanded him. Okay? When you seen Edgar Berlanga with that kind of output, with the kind of engine to where he can work like that. Okay? So if you can't throw that amount of punches in combination and have the footwork, have the IQ, be able to know when to attack, when to retreat, when to pop shot, when to just throw pitter-pat punches, then to change up the power level, change up the speed, change up your levels. You can't just get in the ring with Canelo and develop that in the ring. Even now, I just don't think there's enough time for Berlanga, although he's been working. I just don't think there's enough time for him to develop those qualities, to develop those intangibles, man, to bring that into the ring, to be able to put on a Dimitri Bivol type performance. Now with Terence Crawford, let me tell you something. I don't know if Crawford can put out 70 punches around, 50 punches around. Crawford's more economical. Okay, but I think Crawford, I think Canelo would respect Crawford's skill set and counterpunching ability a lot more than he would respect Berlanga. And the reason I say that is because Berlanga's in love with his power. Berlanga's throwing one punch, maybe two, he may get three. he's not really a guy coming out there looking to throw 5-6 punch combinations. That ain't him. He'll come straight forward. He's susceptible to getting hit. He'll get busted up. He'll get banged up. He'll get dazed. Canelo is going to catch him, and Canelo's going to hurt him. Now Berlanga can do the same thing. I just think it's more of a chance of Canelo hurting Berlanga than Berlanga really letting some off on Canelo and hurting him. But Canelo is getting a little older. He's not floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee like he was before. He's more or less walking you down and just trying to chop you down. You know what I'm saying? He turned to Paul Bunyan, the Mexican Paul Bunyan. He's a lumberjack. He's in there with his axe and just chopping you down. Now, with Crawford, he throws more than a single shot. He will let go combinations. Sometimes Crawford will be wide with his shots, but he's doing that on purpose. But Crawford can throw straight shots, and he's a switch hitter, and he's got extremely long arms. Canelo's reach is like 70 inches, 69, 70 inches. Crawford's like 74, 75. That makes a difference, especially when you know how to use it. So I think Canelo can find himself respecting Crawford's ability to touch him and get to him, and Canelo's just going to be coming straight ahead with the high guard up and cutting the ring off. And I think that plays right to Crawford because it's going to give him an opportunity to exploit Canelo's, I think, I would say his aggression. I was going to say lack of defense, but I'm not going to say that. I'll say his aggression, but Canelo has intelligent aggression. He's not just walking you down and his hands are by his waist. He's not doing that. And when he gets close, he will throw a shot. He will throw some shots just to keep you honest. But still, I think Crawford is a guy who I think stands a much better chance when you look at it. Crawford and Berlanga, I think Crawford stands a much better chance against Canelo. Does it mean he wins? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when I look at it on paper and what these fighters bring to the table, you're going to have to put together a Bivol-like performance. Now, when you come down here and you look at the total punches that were landed, okay? You look for Alvarez. He landed 84 out of 495 thrown. Bivol landed 152 out of 710 thrown. 710 thrown. Now, out of the 84 for Alvarez punches that landed, 43 were to the body. And for Bivol, out of the 152 that landed, 15 were to the body. So what I'm getting at here is that's a lot of goddamn punches that a fighter has to throw against Canelo in order to blunt Canelo's offense, to make him think twice, to not let his hands go, and in order for them to win rounds convincingly. Because the judges, hey look, secret society's in full effect. The judges ain't out here trying to take nothing from Canelo. You gotta take it out the judge's hands. If you can't knock him out, you gotta beat him down every single round. Kind of like what Bivol did to Canelo, same thing Haney did to Kambosos. That's the kind of performance you gotta put on. Now, it's just not a matter of out-throwing, right? Like Conceição did to O'Shaquie Foster. He didn't win that fight, but he out-threw him. But he didn't outland him. You got to out-throw him and outland him to beat Canelo. And I think it's an uphill battle for Crawford and Canelo. Crawford and Berlanga. But if one person has a better chance to get the job done, I think it's Crawford. Now we're talking about who has the power to knock out Canelo. Who has a better chance of knocking out Canelo? Power-wise, I think they both have a chance. Because Berlanga's a big, strong guy. You can't take nothing from him. Cat right there can crack. But we know Crawford can crack. Now, who probably will get there with that shot? I think if anyone were to get there, which I think it would be hard, ain't nobody just knocking out Canelo, right? But if somebody would be able to maneuver themselves in a way to where they find themselves in position to land a shot to really hurt and possibly KO Canelo, I think it would probably be Crawford. Because to knock out Canelo, it'll be a shot he doesn't see. You can't hit him with some shit he sees coming. He got that neck, man. Man built like a spark plug, a little Mexican spark plug, a spark plugito. You're not just going to get in there and hit him with some shit. You got to hit him with something he doesn't see, and Crawford's very good at hitting opponents with shots they don't see coming. That being said, Edgar Berlanga, I like him. I really do. I ain't rooting for him or Canelo. I just like boxing. I don't have a favorite. I really don't care who wins. But I think this is a good opportunity for Berlanga, at least to make that ching Wu-Tang Kareem and have that cash rule everything around him, because he's going to be straight after this fight. But goddamn, Berlanga, if you're watching this video, any Berlanga fans watching this video, make sure y'all understand, in order to beat a guy like Canelo, you need to be throwing over 700, throwing about at least 700 punches around. And you got to be, if you take a look here in this first round, look at these rounds, the first through the 12th, you got to be out here, man, landing 14, 12, 10, 10, 12, 13, 14, 13, 12. You got to be landing about 11, 12 punches around on Canelo. But you got to be out throwing him as well. And if you do that, I think you will be able to get reduce Canelo's punch output to about, I'd say about 33 punches around, to where he lands only about like maybe 6 punches around on you. And that gives you a good chance on getting a victory. The thing is, can Berlanga do it? I don't think so. Can Crawford do it? You know, I'm not sure. You got to give Canelo his respect. You had somebody who was a combination puncher with power, who had pretty good IQ, and had two excellent trainers that had worked with him, and who was had youth on his side. That was Jaime Munguia. And he had the success, man. He just took it to the stupid. And the experience of Canelo showed up. The only person who was able to out everything Canelo, that was Bivol. And I think Bivol and his team had everything to do with it because of the game plan. But I also think the fact that Eddie Reynoso had Canelo, the plan was to beat down the arms of Bivol. And with the arms, I guess if the arms dropped and you can get to the head, that shit was stupid. Bivol comes from a very intense, advanced amateur background. And this man's been destroying people as a professional. You just ain't gonna come in there and beat him in the arms and think you can get a victory. But anyway, it is what it is at this point. Y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, 7 continents. I like Berlanga. Hey, look, if he wins, great. Change his life, next generation, friends, family. That's outstanding. Canelo's done that. I would like to see Berlanga get a chance to do that. But can he get the job done? You know, I gotta be real. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I'm not trying to slight him. I'm just saying you gotta look at it. Experience matters, man. It's like before I retired. You could. I think I explained this in a video. I had a young person in there. Motherfucker out there questioning me, man. They had the youth. They knew their stuff. They knew what they knew. But they didn't know what I did after, 23 years at the point where I had this issue with the person. 23 years in. You were in 11 years. You know what you know, but when they came banging up against me, they were able to hang for like the first 5 or 6 questions. But when I start to really do a deep dive on certain things when it comes to project management on aircraft maintenance and sending aircraft to different depot facilities and shit like that, and centralized repair facilities, that shit got deep. They couldn't figure it out because of the experience level, something you can't teach. And they felt stupid because I basically did them like what I think Canelo's going to do on Berlanga. I just knocked their ass out. Get out of here. I'm done fucking with you. You out of here now. And I think that's what's going to happen here with Canelo and Berlanga. Anyway, y'all keep cool in the breeze.